Sculpting, the art of giving life to stones. The early evidences of stone sculpting in India traces back to the Indus Valley civilization. Mahabalipuram in Kanchipuram district is a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for stone carvings, relief works, sculptures and monolithic structures of group of monuments that dates back to the Pallava period of 7th century AD, showcasing the proficiency of local sculptors. The precinct even now is a home for sculptors mostly belonging to the Vishwakarma community who have inherited the art from their ancestors through oral traditions. The region has a number of sculpture stores decked up with a variety of sculptures exhibiting the expertise of local craftsmen. Mayan Handicrafts, located in Mahabalipuram, is one such sculpture store which was initially started as a sculpting yard. Mr. Rajesh, the third generation owner, took over and expanded the business by exporting sculptures worldwide. His father, Mr. Durairaj, has been awarded Kalai Chammal by the Tamil Nadu government for excellence in sculpting. The yard specializes in sculptures of deities, stone columns and mandapams for temples, modern art sculptures and relief work for commercial and residential installation, landscaping features such as stone benches and pergolas for hospitals, hotels and resorts, and also in the construction of stone temples. Mayan Handicrafts executes both private and government projects. One iconic work executed by them recently is the installation of two huge sculptures of lions at the memorial of former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Dr. J. Jayalalitha. The sculptures are made of rough granite and took 3 sculptors almost 9 months to complete. Temple construction works in various parts of South India and Sri Lanka are also executed by them. The pricing of the sculptures depends on the type of stone used, transportation cost of raw materials, size of the sculpture and nature of work. The approximate cost of a 1 feet high rough granite sculpture is around 30,000 rupees to 35,000 rupees. Relief works are priced on square feet rate. Sculptures in this yard are of different types of stones. Karungal or rough granite is traditionally and widely used for sculpting, especially that of deities. The best quality Karungal is traditionally sourced from Sankarapuram, a village in Kanchipuram, and from Mailadi, a village in Tirunelveli. Due to high demand of stones from Kanchipuram, rough granite is alternatively sourced from Salem, Mandavasi, Namakkal and Kanyakumari. Sculptures and relief works of soapstone, colored granite and marble are also done in this yard based on clients' requirement with the stones sourced from Andhra Pradesh. Before the advent of machine-operated tools, sculpting was purely a labor-intensive work. The traditional sculpting tools include a range of ulis, that is the chisels of varying edge sizes such as the periya uli, the wide-edged chisel, chinna uli, narrow-edged chisel, Usi uli, pointed-edged chisel used for specific work in sculpting stones. Sutiyal or hammer was used along with the chisels for sculpting. Rulers, red oxide solution and sandpaper were used for marking the design on stone and for polishing the sculptures. Over time, cutting blades of varying sizes have replaced the chisels and hammers, while buffing machines have replaced sandpapers. Even though the machines have taken over, fine detailing is still done traditionally using Usi uli and Sutiyal. Sculpting is an elaborate and step-by-step process. It involves cleansing the stone to remove dust, which is followed by marking the design on stone using rulers and markers. Rough shaping of stones is then done by machine cutting. Profile shaping is done using the hammer or the Sutiyal and the wide-edged chisel or the periya uli. Detailing work is done using the narrow-edged chisel or chinna uli and pointed chisel, the Usi uli. Sculptures are then polished using the buffing machine. Oil is applied when polishing to get a smooth and shiny finish. Gingerly oil is specifically used for polishing sculptures of deities to season and make them resistant to weathering due to abhishekams. Mayan Handicrafts employs around 30 sculptors, mostly belonging to Mahabalipuram and Pudukkottai. The yard also employs sculptors from Jharkhand and Odisha on lower pay scale and trains them to alter their skills to suit to the sculpting style of Tamil Nadu. All sculptors are provided with an artisan card by the government of Tamil Nadu that ensures free treatment to them in case of injuries. The sculptors are paid on monthly or daily basis depending on their competence. The average income ranges from 800 to 1600 rupees per day. Mr. Vishwanathan is a chief sculptor in the yard and has been in the field for more than 22 years. He started sculpting from the age of 13 and learned the art by assisting a senior sculptor. He specializes in sculpting modern art and relief works. One of his recent masterpieces is the relief work of a pregnant lady on colored granite stone. He has witnessed the transition from using traditional tools for sculpting to using machine-operated tools and prefers working with the former as it is much safer and releases minimal dust. He gets paid monthly at the rate of Rs 1600 per day. He considers himself fortunate to have survived the financial crisis during COVID-19 pandemic with the monetary aid received from his owner. He adds that a lot of his co-sculptors who weren't able to manage the expenses quit sculpting and sought jobs as security guards for a regular monthly salary. He wishes to create awareness among people to prevent the art from diminishing. Mr. Baskaran is one of the most senior sculptors in the yard and has been in the field for 34 years. He belongs to the Vishwakarma community and learned the art by assisting his grandfather. He specializes in sculpting Sivalingams and has sculpted over 100 of them. He feels that the shift to using machines for sculpting has made the process simpler and reduced the labor involved, thereby leaving sculptors unemployed. He mentioned that the COVID-19 pandemic pushed him into serious debts. Even at such situation, he refrained from seeking other jobs purely because of his passion towards sculpting. He lacked skill in detailing, which compromised his growth in the field. To make up to this, he wished to enroll his son to formally learn the art from sculpting college. But his son, who was not great at academics, dropped out and chose to work as a mason. Even in such distress, Mr. Baskaran feels happy and proud of being a sculptor, being able to keep the art thriving. The advent of machine-operated tools has affected the pay scale of sculptors considerably and forced them to seek alternate jobs to sustain. The COVID-19 pandemic has also had a major impact on the sculpting industry. The export ban from China, from where the sculpting tools were sourced for cheaper rates, has affected the pricing of sculptures, which in turn has reduced the orders, eventually leaving many sculptors unemployed. Supporting these craftsmen is essential to keep the art alive. Measures are to be taken by the government to regulate the salary of sculptors and to create awareness among people to promote the art of sculpting.